Welcome everybody to the final day and the wrap-up of our podcast here. I am Linda Doc G. Gedemen, and I'm joined by two of my great friends. Well, maybe not you, Pete. By my friend Mark, the bearded tech, Skehan.
Oh, you've done so well. I'll take it.
Thank you. And Pete, the TEC MAN Coman. So
very good, Linda.
I got everybody's, which is not bad.
You got it, Dr. Gedemen. Thank you.
That's Doc G to you. Got to sound cool. So let me start with you today, Pete.
Right.
So what did you see today in this last day, in the last mad dash around the show floor?
And it has been a mad dash. Yeah. It really has.
Pete slept in till 10, by the way.
Yeah, not true. Yeah. Not true. But there was a product that I saw. Where were we? We're in this hall. We're in the West Hall, right? Silicon Core have got a 135-inch, 1.2 millimeter LED, which doesn't sound, that impressive. However, it's portable, right? So It folds up and it's on a motorized stand. And the best thing about it is a lot of LED puts out a lot of heat. Right. Typically, you feel that heat coming, emitting from the displays. These Silicon Core have got a patented technology which has 40% less heat than their competition. Wow. So when we did a video on it and standing next to it, you don't even think that it's on. Like it runs that cool. It has a nice sort of a resin-filled surface. A lot of LED, you run your hands over. It's very, very coarse. This is nice and smooth. It was just a really nice, well put together, well engineered, well designed product, all in one. 135 inch. You could wheel it around from room to room.
Right.
The application that I think of that I thought of when I saw that was a multi-purpose space. You've got a large corporate, they've got divisible walls. They want, instead of putting permanent screens up on the wall, on all the walls, why not have something like this that you could just reposition, right?
Right.
For a fraction of the cost.
Yep. Easy to just do a grab and go and convert a room into a little conference room.
100%. Yeah.
Very handy.
It was beautiful. It had speakers built into it. It was just,
really?
Once again, it was just a really well thought out, really well designed and engineered product, and low heat, low power, and it looked beautiful on top of that. The image quality was amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll drop one off at my house so I can test it. So we'll see. I'll give them a call.
Yeah, you wish.
You wish, I know. It's like all the free gear I've been begging for at this show is kind of shameful, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Shameful that you've been begging, or shameful you haven't been getting any gear?
Well, we're...
Glad I finished that sentence.
I'm so happy you added the word gear. Thank you for taking us there, Mark. That didn't take long, did it?
If it can go there, I'll probably take it there. I don't even mean to do it.
I know all three of us could take it there, but I don't think Avixa would ever welcome us back ever again.
Put a red line through those three.
Okay, you wise guy.
Always rely on the Aussies.
Okay, I'm really trying to steer this ship right now. And
we're doing
just
a good job.
Titanic time.
Yeah.
So, Mark, what nifty gear did you see today?
Look, the nifty gear, we doubled back today to the Crestron stand. Over there, they've got the new, it's the One Beyond acquisition now rebadged into Crestron, and they've got the IntelliMix video system, I think it was called, wasn't it, Pete?
Yeah.
Intelligent video range.
Yeah.
Intelligent video range. And the i12 specifically was the one that I really liked for the small meeting space. And the reason was
PTZ camera.
It's the auto one.
But it's a PTZ.
Oh,
camera.
it's not an ePTZ as such.
Okay.
It's standard PTZ.
Yeah.
So the reason why I liked it was because they've got a really great demo. There's the back of the room and then the front of the room with the same camera, and they're cat between the back and the front, and then USB to presents to the codec or the soft codec or whatever it's going to be. So your Teams or your Zoom or whatever. But obviously the codec doesn't actually know that there's two cameras. It only sees one camera. So the intelligence in the two cameras automatically deals with the front the speaker tracking, and then the grouping, and then flicks to the back when there's nothing going on. flicks to the front so it can see the audience when there's nothing going on. And so it does that all automatically. And
How good's the speaker tracking on that? What's the kind of latency?
it's not audio driven, it's only video driven.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what's happening in the audio stakes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a cool.
But there was the dual camera version as well, right? That
Hawk.
That has microphones in the front, so it's actually doing audio pickup to try and work out the coordinates for that. The Hawk, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and that's built into the camera, so it's like, what's the comparative that reminded you of?
Oh, the Cisco speaker track.
Yeah, so it's 2 cameras on a long.
And that cuts between the shots.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which was really cool. But it was a good. I mean, all that intelligence being built into the camera was really awesome. I thought, and especially like Mark said, connecting the 2 cameras together and have the cameras automatically select which is the best view was, and by only having one USB connection to your codec was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier for connections. So and we're seeing a lot more devices with edge computing in them that take on the intelligence right on board the device itself.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot more of that, I think. So cool.
And what did you find?
Well, I wandered over to C Hall via shuttle
where?
to the Central Hall.
C Hall.
Yeah, C Hall.
Okay.
Do you guys just randomly find stuff funny? Or?
Yeah, it's an Aussie way.
This is the way you say it.
I was over at the other hall, the one that you get to by a
Central.
shuttle bus.
Right.
Central.
Okay?
So you went to Central.
I went to C Hall, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, while over there, I visited my friends at Holoplot.
You've been talking about this.
Yeah, so if you don't know who Holoplot is the company that equipped the Sphere with their speakers, the X1s.
Yep.
So Holoplot just recently came out with their X2, which is a much smaller version than the X1. The X1's quite a good sized box, and it's made for venues such as the Sphere. They've also placed them into Broadway theaters.
Yep.
So now they've just come out with the X2. They unveiled it at ISE, the show that I didn't go to, that everybody else did, that you're taking me to next year, Pete, right? Okay, we got it on camera now, so I'm going. So the X2 is a much smaller version, and it's for like my company, we do a lot of airports, and this provides us just a game changer for paging in airports, because unlike a line array speaker, which collapses the pattern vertically, right, and can be steerable or lobed, but you still have all this fan of energy, this very wide horizontal spread of energy hitting walls and causing chaos, just like we do.
You do.
The X2 actually pulls that steering both horizontally and vertically, and then you can create very specific lobes of information going out. So you can take any kind of, you can take a single speaker, you can array them into larger arrays for lower frequency response, and you can actually split those. And it was quite amazing. The demo that I saw was that you have multiple voices coming out of the same bank of X2 speakers, and you can literally walk from one language to the other and not hear the adjacent channel the minute you walk out of that very tight coverage pattern. So
Linda, you are a audio engineer and an acoustic engineer, is that correct?
Yes.
Acoustician.
Okay. Acoustician.
I'm a lot of things,
You're a
but
lot of
yes, you can call me an acoustician.
So do you understand the technology behind that?
Yes, of course they're using like a traditional line array that collapses the panel, that collapses the pattern. Those traditionally work off of the delay, the interaction between the individual elements within the line array. So they're using DSP magic with delay and the phasing and cancellation that naturally occurs to get that pattern to collapse down. The Holoplot X2 folds in wavefield synthesis on top of that. So, and we're not going to go into wavefield synthesis because that would be like a 2-hour conversation about what is wavefield synthesis.
Yeah, let's
so
not do that.
That's kind of the magic sauce at it is the wavefield synthesis portion of that. So just if you ever get a chance to get a demo either of the X1 at their office here in Vegas or the X2 the next time at a show, it's pretty amazing.
Can you describe I haven't seen the X1, so can you describe it to us of what it's made up of? Like how many drivers are there?
Gosh, you'd have to ask me that question.
No,
I forget.
Roughly. You know.
Oh gosh, I forget it. I don't even want to say because I'm not sure.
5, 10, 15.
No. You're looking at a square panel that is made up of probably, I don't know, 36 elements. Don't quote me on that. And the X2 is just a smaller. So you basically have a square speaker that's made up of an array of smaller elements.
But in a square pattern,
in a square pattern.
Rather than an array. Yeah.
Yeah. So because again, a line array, you have typically 4-inch speakers that are in a single line. Now, if you can picture that, but now you're doing, you have it arrayed in a square.
Right. And are they they're angled, or how are they steered?
They're steered through software, through DSP.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You have to have the DSP back end, or the whole thing doesn't really work too well.
Oh, okay.
So, but they have they really don't have that big of a footprint.
Right.
Depth wise.
Yeah.
So they're quite flat, and they have different stretch material that you could put over them, but we actually modeled them in ease. We're looking to put them into a couple of our airport projects, and we put them into an ease model, and we compared those to a standard line array that's typically used in airports. I won't mention the name, but to do the ease plots, the smoothness of the SPL coverage and the STI was amazing. It was like there was just like this smooth, even STI throughout the entire area we were paging into.
And you can control the throw on that, so you control it. So you're just sort of adjusting all that through the software, so you're not overpowering a space.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have an amazing amount of control.
So what would that be? Like, what would be the furthest distance you could put one of these? Like, if you had, like, an airport, because we know they're big spaces, right? We've got big high ceilings, they're big and open, and it's quite often it's difficult to locate speakers, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can go 50, 100 feet or more with these things. It
really?
just depends, you take a look at the power behind it. But again, we're just getting introduced to them and working with them in ease modeling. And this was, the first time I've ever seen an X2 was here at the show. So, but my company is actively using it in models and looking to put it into airports like now, because it just solves that many problems.
I remember you telling us, you were talking about it yesterday afternoon, and when you were doing the models just looked too perfect.
They looked too perfect.
And you thought, no, this is not right. The model is not actually modeling anything.
Yeah, they look so perfect that Brian Herbert, who works in the AV group, AV department for Faith Group, he was working directly with the folks from Holoplot, and they were looking at the ease models going, wow, is that even correct?
Yeah.
And so the kind of moving speakers out to see if it was the modeling program that was doing something funky, but nope, sent that over to Holoplot, and even Holoplot was like, wow, that looks really great.
That looks good.
So
wow.
Hey, if in the field it installs and it works, even 70-80% of what we're seeing in the ease model, it's going to be a game changer for large paging systems in these super difficult areas.
It's an interesting thing, because I've looked at it, and I looked at it at ISE in what year, in 23, and did the demo in the big demo halls that were up there, and you sort of go, oh, this is super, super cool, but I was not really sure of the use case, and then it goes into the Sphere, that's great, but that's one project. You're not going to have 20 Spheres around the world.
No.
So now it's really cool to get an understanding of, okay, we're actually going to use it at an airport. I actually didn't know that there was line arrays being used in an airport. I've never really looked up.
Have you ever been to an airport?
Bob, go to your gate. You're going to miss your flight.
That's right. We made an announcement.
So, and the folks from Holoplot said that they actually have installations in New York and in Broadway theaters. So it's being used there too, because if you could imagine something that is that highly steerable, that you can send the energy directly into the seating area and not onto any superfluous surface that you don't need the audio aimed at.
Reflections are under control.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Makes a lot of sense.
What else?
I was going to ask you, what else do you see? Because you told me before we came on air, you were like, I've been racing around, I've been doing all these stand tours, so I'm sure there's more than just the Holoplot that you saw.
Yeah, while I was over at Sea Hall. While I was there, I stopped by the head wall.
I was
booth.
going to ask you if you saw them. I didn't
Yes.
make it over to their stand.
Of course, Mr. VR naysayer didn't want to show up to the VR booth so that they could prove him
Someone
wrong.
might have seen me over there. Wasn't that guy that was bagging VR? Yeah.
The one that said he didn't want a dystopian nightmare of everybody running around in VR headsets.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Is that how you
was
picture it?
Yeah.
It was great. It was really amazing because Headwall creates. They've developed a VR command and control center, which would allow you to, it's not 100% made to get rid of physical command and control centers, but if you have a remote one,
it's a digital twin.
Yeah, basically it is. And so for me, the torture test was to bring over Steve Gallagher, again, a member of my team at Faith Group, who is our command and control center subject matter expert.
Yeah.
I mean, he does projects for the military, the government. He does a ton of these projects all over the world. And so I'm like, I'll take him over and see what he thinks of it, because this is his wheelhouse. And he was quite impressed with it. He brought up a couple of use cases of remote deployments of command and control centers where they would typically have to box it up in like the shipping containers.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They'd have to box it up in shipping containers, send it over to the Middle East, and then just have to try and get it through customs and everything. And this device, you could just pack it in a 60-pound Pelican case.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, excuse me.
That's right. You grab your water. So I've designed a number of these command centers, and they're big, they're expensive, they take up a lot of space. I mean, there is a lot that goes into it, right? And to be able to, and I agree, it's not to necessarily do away with these command centers, but with the projects that I've worked on, you'll have one organisation that will have multiple command centres around the country, and then you'll have an incident that might be happening in one part of the country, but the other people in the other offices or the other command centres, maybe they're not as busy,
right?
And that instead of putting them on a plane and sending them over to where the incident or the issue is, and then as all you're doing is throwing more people in the room, right? Which is not necessarily solving the problem.
Right.
The room is designed for X number of people. You can then have that digital twin, and they can just remote in and help out and monitor from wherever they are.
Yeah, exactly. It's brilliant.
Awesome. Pretty clever.
Yeah, and again, what Steve from my team found especially valuable was the fact that, again, it's not uncommon for the military to have to set up a remote command and control center. Yeah. And that's expensive to put into a box. And then Steve actually brought up the issue that these are secured systems, right, by the military.
Right. Yeah.
So to ship them overseas and then have to get them through customs where somebody wants to open the box and take a look at everything, not a great idea.
Yeah, so speed to deployment's huge part of that too, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody could literally check it as their luggage.
Yeah.
It's command and control center in a 60-pound Pelican case. Right?
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
And they've got a great video on their website that explains it all. Like, it just comes straight up there. I encourage everyone to, like, if you're in that kind of field, if you're designing these rooms or you've got clients who have got command centers, have a look at it. And it was a really well put together video. It explains everything that they do and how it all works and how secure it is and all those kinds of things. It is, I said, not that I got to see it, but I did some research based on your advice. I think that was probably best in show.
Yeah. Definitely one of the best in show products that I came across. And it was great that they joined the panel on VR.
Yes.
Really kind of, I think, opened up a few people's eyes to the possibility of that. So.
Yep, totally agree.
Mark, what else did you see?
Sorry, I was just in a trance.
Having a snooze.
Yeah, having a snooze over here.
A snooze.
What else?
A snooze.
Is there another
nap
Australian term?
Yep,
no? I don't know. What else did we see today? We went over to Sony.
Yeah.
So
did you go?
Did you go today, Linda? We took the Sony stand. We took you to to have a look.
Oh my gosh, yes. Pete As we were, leaving the show floor last night, Pete's like, "You got to see this in the Sony booth."
Yeah.
That matte display. What was what was the model number on that? Do you remember?
That was the BZ, BZ, whichever part of the world you're from. 53L.
Yeah.
That was the 98 inch.
It's the 98 inch.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Deep black. Non-glare, high haze.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! And I love how they set it up with a standard display right next to it.
Their own product. That was their own product right next to it.
Yeah.
And it was like the fact that you have just the intense amount of glare off the standard display.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean,
how good's the viewing angle as well, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And the color saturation, the brightness.
So you were looking for a solution like that too, aren't you? For
a museum project that I'm working on, where they're actually looking to display artwork in a frame on a display so that they can change it. But of course, you can't pull off the illusion that it's a painting if it's glossy, right? And the lights glare off of it.
So you need super flat.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like if that display was on its own, like if it was just on the wall on the stand. On its own, then
kind of lose its.
You wouldn't really. It wouldn't have the same impact. Yeah. And it's kind of like when you have, you see a projector and people talk about how good the projector might be. You don't really appreciate it until you put it side by side with another one, where you do a comparison. And the comparison that they had on the Sony stand was their very own product, right? Which wasn't overly glary itself, with this high haze, and it was just like.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Yeah,
Real game changer.
Definitely a game changer.
Yeah.
And it comes in different sizes as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
that 98 was gorgeous.
Yes.
So
yeah. But they do have that 98 is brand new. They only just released that one, but they released the, I think, definitely 65, 75, I think 85 they've had on the market for a couple of months. 55 as well.
Yeah.
But the 98 was brand new. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I did get to see it late. When did I go there? Late last year over at Sony. They had it. They showed it to us, and was like, "Wow, this is incredible."
Yeah. I'm not a massive. I've never been one to rant on about displays. As an installer, just put it up, hang it, and bang it, and away we go, sort of thing. But it's just like. All my clients are like, "You're waffling on about this display a lot," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, you should see it, mate." It's amazing, and I put it into a school in a outdoor enclosure. So outdoor enclosures typically got a tint, on the so it's a vandal-proof perspex. In high elite schools,
aka plexiglass.
Bulletproof glass.
But it normally takes a lot of the brightness out, right? Yeah. So I put it into this school, and he I said, put it in, you won't regret it. Yeah. And this was it was only like the 55 or the 65 inch, the BZ40 range, and put it in, and a day later I'm at the school, and he yells out across the school and goes, "Hey Mark, that LCD," like that across the school. He was just amazed at how, and you walk up the stairs and it's right in your face. You can see it. It's not getting washed out by the plexi. Whatever it's called. Yeah, whatever it's called. It's definitely an impressive bit of kit. Yeah. I'll keep raving on for the moment.
And then I know I asked Sony if they'd fly me to Japan.
One thing that my dad said to me, he said, "Pete, it's not what you know, it's who you know." Right? You know a lot. I know a lot of people. That's the difference.
Yeah, but I know you, so shouldn't I, reap the benefits of that?
Still waiting, Linda. Don't you worry. It doesn't come anytime soon. I've known him for a while.
Really?
The other product that we saw today, I think it was called Live U or Live View. What was it?
Live U.
Live U.
Yeah.
So LIVEU.
It was like a chance, a 5-second chance walk past thing that we went, hang on, what's this?
Yeah. And what it is, it's a portable, I suppose, like network gateway, internet gateway, and it can take up to 4 SIM cards. It can connect to Wi-Fi, so it does all that, and it aggregates all those signals together So it basically just makes sure that when you're at a show, well, this would be a perfect example, and this is why we were interested in it, is that when we're going around filming, at the end of every day, we've got to go back with that content, we've got to edit the content, we've got to put it out. And obviously, being the professionals that we are, we only tend to do one take, right? So we may as well do it live. We may as well just do it on the fly and push it out there to the LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever. So, but the issue is network connectivity, right? You can't rely on the network that's available in these halls, right? And these convention centers. And so this, you just have it, it's like a pack that you carry around, has all that connectivity, boom, guaranteed bandwidth, out you go.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then you compare that up even with other devices, like we were looking at with, I mean, you could take that directly into your feed, like LinkedIn, for example, or YouTube. But if you wanted to actually trick it up a little bit more, you could put something else in between, like the Magewell.
Magewell. The mini Director Mini. And then feed it into.
And then feed it in.
And send it and pipe it out, because you've got all the additional connectivity, because I think it was a HDMI input. Yeah. Or an SDI input, I think was the other one. So,
but it just saves all that, the recording and the editing and not only that, the uploading. Like, people don't realize, like, when we record all this content, editing's not too bad, but it's just the uploading of it, trying to get it out
even at
to
1080.
everybody.
Imagine if it was in 4K.
Exactly. Exactly. It's very time consuming. Very time consuming.
Well, isn't it great when you kind of just stumble across these things at InfoComm? You're on your way to someplace, and all of a sudden something catches your eye, and you're like, oh. Well, that's nifty.
That was actually a friend of ours, Dan O'Donnell from Starren. He's like, guys, come over here. There's something I want to show you. And we're like, oh, here we go, right? Dan, typical Dan, right? What's he going to show us now? And it was like, hey, this is really cool. It was a very good product. But they just had like an 8x8 booth kind of thing. Yeah. Like, there was nothing special. You could have walked straight past them. Right. There's those gold nuggets that you find in the small, like some of these small guys, some of these small exhibitors have some really, really cool product. They can't afford the big stands.
Yep, but they came up with a clever mousetrap, and that's why I always encourage people to kind of walk the edges, walk the outline of the show floor, because that's where you're going to find.
That's where the gold nuggets are.
These little small companies that have these great products.
Did you make it over to the AI, like InfoComm set up a whole AI section this year, and they had a speaker stage, and they had some AI.
Not.
You didn't get a chance. We wanted the AI experience. No,
unfortunately not. So hopefully they do that again in Orlando. So
I thought that was a great idea. Very topical, right?
Yes,
AI playing such a big, having such a big impact on our industry, and to have a section dedicated for AI, I think was a really great idea.
Yeah, it's timely. Yeah. So I'm thinking that of course they're going to have to replicate that next year, because AI is just going to get bigger and bigger in its use cases for AV. So as much as that terrifies the general populace, who hears those two letters and goes, no, they're going to steal my information and sell it to everybody. So
that ship is long sailed.
It's like, if you've got an iPhone, that ship sailed.
Oh, it's not the iPhone you need to be worried about.
No,
it's every other phone. The iPhone's probably the most secure.
Yeah, that's the most secure. Yeah. So bad example. Okay, fine.
That's all right.
So Mark, anything else? We got just about a minute.
Look, I've imparted so much wisdom on you over the last few days, Linda. It's incredible, actually. I'm sure you've gone away with that. That Mark was
Mark,
just so smart.
You're so valuable to me. I don't know how.
Exactly.
I don't know how
Linda wouldn't be in the position she's in today without you, Mark.
That's how you get your double PhDs.
I know. You're the reason I got my PhD. I couldn't have gotten it without you. You were.
No, I want to know. Yesterday, I threw down the gauntlet and said, "What is your number one product?" Quickly. Of the show that you've seen that you think is the
good Lord, that's a tough call. For me, it's somewhere between the Holoplot X2 and Headwall's VR command and control center.
Okay.
So
get off the fence, Linda. Get off the fence. Draw the line.
Me not have an opinion on something? Please. Wait, Matt. Okay. So what about you, Pete?
I didn't get to see. Well, I didn't get to see head wall or hollow plot. But I have to give it to head wall. That technology is insane.
It's insane.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So that would be my number one product at the show. And you?
I got to see the hollow plot, and I actually walked past it and went, Where did that come from?
Oh, right.
Did a double take and went, it's hollow plot, of course, And I walked back and I walked back again and walked back and I went, I'm buying into that.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
So those seem to be our two front runners for the really amazing product.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of time, but thank you, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to be between you.
Said no one ever.
Let's not go
Of course, I had to say something like that to close our show out. It just wouldn't be us.
Leave that one alone.
So thank you again,
Thanks, Linda.
and thanks everybody out there. I hope everybody had an amazing InfoComm. I know that we did, and looking forward to seeing everybody in Orlando, hopefully. So,
all right.
Okay.
All right.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
Bye for now. That's a wrap.